Hello everyone, I'm going to be showcasing this 1882 Estey organ, and basically this is my fourth reed organ. This one sits in our living room and it's pretty nice. Now it is only 3 ranks, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have much power because it's actually pretty nice. It has 13 stops. There's an 8-foot, a 4-foot, a second 4-foot for the bass. I'll get to in a second, and sub bass and a Celeste. And before I show the actual instrument, I want to show the backside because this is a chapel organ. One of the little things is broken off. I do have it, it's just broken off right now, and I don't feel like gluing it back on or anything. Let me see if I can get this thing away from the wall so I can actually show the back. Now, one thing about the chapel organs is that they usually have a finished back. I can't show you very well, but as you can see, the back is completely finished. And if you remember the bell reed organ that I have upstairs in my bedroom, it doesn't even have a back. It doesn't have a back at all. I don't even know what it was supposed to look like. I never had one except for like a piece of cardboard that I just removed and threw away because it was awful. But this has an actual back and it's like finished. It has all these details, and that's because it was supposed to go in a chapel to face against the audience or something when they're doing their church concerts or whatever they do in churches. And as you can see, the top has the chapel sort of styling stuff. There's the music desk, which is just a bar with some things. This is my homemade repoler that my dad helped me make, or my dad made for me. So let's get into how this instrument works. I'll show you down. I don't know if this carpet is original. The pedals are a little squeaky, but the bellows is in all right condition. It's not perfect, but it does get the job done. Now, this is my second oldest organ. This one's from 1882, and the only older one I have is a small 4-octave organ from like the 1870s, but this one's from 1882, and I really do like the way this looks. I really like how sharp it is. It's not super curvy. It kind of has like this, it looks very, I guess, industrial. Like everything's very straight. Everything's very, like everything is so thick. Like this piece of wood is so thick. This is heavy. All this looks, it feels very strong and very, I don't know how to describe it, but there's some ventilation here for the sound to come out, and there's some screws right there. I don't feel like explaining that. Alright, so let's start with, this music desk is a little stupid. I don't understand why it isn't. This 8-foot Payson Melodia, it sounds like this. It's very nice. So I don't know if you noticed, but this, one interesting thing I've noticed about Estey organs now, this is I have 3 Estey organs. I have this one, this is my chapel organ, I have the the parlor organ in the other room, which I've shown previously, but this is, a bigger one. But one thing I noticed about Estey organs is that they have more of a mellow, soft tone compared to my bell organ. My bell organ has a very harsh, I guess, not harsh, but sort of like a more bright sound. This has more of a mellow sound. And I'll open the swell. Some of the reeds have some crap stuck in it, so some of them don't sound. I cleaned all of them out, but I guess it got dirty again, so just bear with me. So let's play like a little. That is the Melodia / Payson. I can open up the swell a little bit. It's not super loud. There's also the Celeste, which is obviously, like I've shown before, the Celeste is basically just an off-tune set of reeds that a little off-tune, so it plays like all on the Estey organs. It's called a Vox Jubilante, but here's with it off. It gives it more of a kind of a chorus sort of effect. You probably already know this if you know about reed organs. Okay, now the nice thing about this organ is that it has a 4-foot throughout the entire thing. Now the interesting thing about this organ is that there's actually not just the 4-foot for the bass and treble. There's also a second 4-foot that's only in the bass that I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to pull out the 4-foot, it's called the viola, and the bass and viola, or flute, and the treble, it sounds like this. I really do like this flute. If I open up the swell, it's a little louder. Now, there's 2 forte stops on this organ. They don't really work. One of the swell pins is broken off, so you actually have to use the knee lever to open up the swell. Now, if you combine it with the diapason and the melodia, it sounds really nice and bright. Now, I don't actually know these pieces. I'm just playing a bunch of random crap that I kind of remember, whatever. But one thing I do like about the 4-foot, it's a very mellow 4-foot. In the bell organ, it's a very harsh 4-foot. This one's a little more soft. If I just plot the 4-foot, it's pretty nice. I like it. And now there's a second 4-foot in the bass. Now it's called the violetta. And now here's the weird thing about this, about the violetta stop. So the viola is basically just like the 4-foot. And here's the violetta. And now it's a 4-foot, but here's the thing. I thought this was a soft stop of the viola, but it actually isn't. The viola and the violetta, they're actually completely separate rank. Now, I have the violetta. Like, they just have a different tone. And it's softer. The violetta is very soft and quiet. And this is with all the swells open. And again, some of them don't work, but that's okay. So yeah, it's actually a completely different ring. This is the viola. So yeah, and I think the reason it's different is, I think the reason they did this is because there's 3 rings in this organ. There's the 8-foot in the back, the 4-foot in the front, and then there's the celeste above the 8-foot. So I guess instead of just splitting the rank, it might have been easier for them just to put a whole rank in there, and they had to put something in this bass end, so they probably just put some filed down viola reeds in here, because I think the tip of the reed is a little filed down to give it that softer. I think it's actually a really pretty stop. Like, if I combine it with maybe the Dulciana. Gives it a really nice mellow tone, and I really like it. Now, another stop this organ has is the sub bass. If I pull that out, Now with the sub bass stop pulled out, you have a tone like this, and it's only this octave. It's very deep and very, very loud. And if you combine it with like all the other stops, like the melodia, the violetta, the viola, there's probably no point in pulling out the violetta because the viola is just so much louder. And then pull out all the other sounding stops, I guess. And yeah, you get the idea. And now there's another stop. The Vox Humana does not work. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't think it works. I don't think it's doing anything, whatever. And then there's it's called the harmonic. And what it does, it's just an octave coupler. Now the interesting thing about this coupler is that it's an octave coupler. Instead of having a separate treble and bass coupler, it's just one single coupler. So if I press the note down here, it couples an octave higher. Like I can show you. Because in the other two organs I have that have the coupler, there's a treble coupler that works like an octave higher, and then the bass coupler, which is an octave lower, but this is all the octave higher. The entire coupler is the same. It's all an octave up and not down. And now with the harmonic pulled out, here's the sound you get. That is the sound of this 1882 Estey organ. Now, it may not sound as grand or as big as my little bell organ upstairs, but this is still a fantastic instrument. It's great, it's awesome, and it looks amazing, it sounds great. It has a very nice mellow tone, and it really feels like this instrument belongs in a chapel. Let's play a little more on it. And there you go. That is the 1882 Estey organ. I really hope you enjoyed this little showcase, of back pain and torture. Now, if you have any questions about this instrument, which you probably don't because I kind of showed everything about it, it's just let me know. And really happy to have it. It's really nice looking here in the nice living room. It looks really good in here. I do need to do lots of work to this instrument, but I'm doing a lot of stuff to the bell organ upstairs already, so it probably will be a while until I actually get to doing some things to this instrument, and I need to clean out the reeds again. I did clean them all, but I guess they got dirty again because I didn't clean everything else enough, but that's, I guess, all I really have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Bye!